Hello, my dear Voidian Children. Welcome back to our life. We're on Sandcastles. Cove was a neighbor knew many things that summer. When you, him, and Schlo sat out on the shoreline, one bright morning you could tell he wanted to be in the water. But there was no way he'd be swimming any time soon, not with his cast. The waves washed a single shell to shore, glittering in blue, another reminder of the places he couldn't go. From what you heard about Cove, what the fuck did I say Cliff? That's his dad. Cove's old life so far, in tiny pieces and fragments, you could tell that he'd do anything to be able to get the cast off. The possibilities of what he might get up to made you anxious. You thought about how his summer last year must have been totally different from this, with his old home and his mom and dad. But now he was here, with you and Schlo and Lizzie and everyone else, and he couldn't even go in the sea. This town wasn't bad. It had all your favorite things in it, but sitting there on the same beach you'd grown up on, you could understand that not everyone else felt the same way about Sunset Bird as you did. You watched him from the corner of your eye quietly, and he finally said aloud what you'd been pondering. I wish I could go in. The water? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You're going to be able to do it soon. Cove only sighed in response. Apparently soon wasn't soon enough. It's so pretty. The ocean? And huge. There could be anything out there, like mermaids. Yeah. I wish you didn't have a cast. I really didn't. Swimming would be a lot of fun. Me too. Honestly not interested in hearing much more of your input on the situation. Cove turned back to the water. But as she looked away, something about Schlo's slow, careful movements caught your eye. Hey, are you building the sandcastle? Sort of. I was only playing around while you were talking. I'm listening. Maybe I could too. I've only made big piles before. It's really nothing special. I'm sure you'll be good at it right away. Well, how do you do it then? Schlo's cheeks lit up. You could tell that he was a little bit uncomfortable to have Cove's expectant stare on him. I'll play too. It's fucking fun, bruh. Okay. He put his hands back on the seashells and sand and nodded. I don't do a lot. Here's how I like to get a house started. Schlo focused more intently than you'd ever seen him, guided Cove through his process. He happily used his own method. It didn't take long for the three of you to have humble structures prepared. That's all, kind of. You can do anything now, like make it bigger, add some seashells, carve a pretty pattern. I bet you have great ideas. I'm gonna make it bigger. Mine is gonna be a real castle. Cool, this is gonna be a house. Looking at then at the base of your sandcastle, you decided to make house a castle, a mansion. And make a mansion be different than the others. Looking at the base of your sandcastle, you decided to do what Lizzie would do and design a mansion. The best part of the next hour was spent focusing on your own work. The boys were the same. Even Schlo didn't sneak as many peeks at everyone else as he usually did. You finished snapping together before either of them did, glancing up from what you built. It seemed you had done so fast because they had already searched around for extra decorations. Schlo had grabbed most of the really interesting stuff, and Cove had a lot of shells. But there were still options. The first thing you reached for was a Baraka-Busha shell. It was the best fit for your mansion, you decided. It was see-through and sparkly. You tucked it away somewhere secure inside, barely poking out to make sure it didn't get lost. Pleased with the result, you finally took a proper look around that wasn't focused on your sand itself. Both Cove and Schlo seemed super immersed skill. I don't know. You knew you could probably sneak a peek at either one's work. Let's not look. You instead watched some clouds go by. The silence was then broken. What's on the top of yours, Schlo? You peeked closer and discovered something shiny sticking out of Schlo's sand chimney. Oh, it's just a gum wrapper. It looks like smoke. It's good, that's smart. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I guess I don't see it. You'd be good at it, Schlo. Schlo smiled without a word. And that was that for the current topic. Ryan, can I see what you did? Sure. He scooted over just a bit nearer and began surveying your work. All you really knew about mansions was that they were supposed to be big, and you'd gone really big. It was the size of a country club that Lizzie played golf at, compared to Cove and Slow's buildings, probably even bigger. Slow quickly decided to jump in the conversation. Hey Ryan, what did you do? I made a mansion. Cove scowled at the moment. Apparently the anger was actually still there at the argument with Lizzie more than a week ago. It looks great. Your house is so big. It's not a big house, it's a mansion. I guess mansions are really... Huh? Is being a house bad? No, but we each made our own place. Nobody's the same. I think we are. Cove raised an eyebrow at that. If something is really only one thing that makes it special. Yeah, for sandcastles and stuff. People do. My dad always says how everyone is their own man. A real individual. I don't think I'm very special. Why not? Nobody else is you? So simply shook his head. I'm not different. A beat passed between the two. Cove looked down at his own work again. Okay. He didn't seem to be bothered leaving this disagreement hanging there. Cove had other things on his mind. My dad tried to get me to make a sandcastle with the first time we came to this beach. I didn't want to. Cove trailed off again. There was a moment of silence. Schlo shifted and opened his mouth to say something, but Cove spoke up before he could. He didn't think he noticed that Schlo was going to talk. Hey, do you think what do you think happened when your mom's met my dad, Ryan? You blinked, not expecting the question. You thought hard. I wasn't there. They didn't tell me. I just remembered what happened when I met your dad. Mr. Holden had been worried I had been a weird stranger then. Well, he was still kind of strange. No other parent acted like him, but you knew him better at this point. Now that you thought about it, it made a lot of sense that Cove's dad talked to him about people being unique. I like how they have the blinking thing. You were pulled from your thoughts when Cove continued. Oh, well, I was there. I don't think my mom has met your dad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she hasn't. Ryan's parents and my dad met the same day I met them. I'm gonna see what happened. Schlo frowned to himself, ducking his head. His hat cast a shadow over his face. You could still tell he was upset about not being included in Cove's choice of topic. It was kind of boring for him, though giving people their own turn to say the things they want is important too. He stayed silent. Well, let him finish, and then Schlo can continue. Schlo could talk about stuff after Cove had a chance to share what he planned on. When we moved here, we didn't bring a lot of things with us, only some stuff that would fit in Dad's car. We didn't even get a moving truck. I sat in there while Dad brought in all inside. I didn't want to get out because I knew Dad would make me look around the new house. I really didn't want to do that. His lips twisted into a frown as he recalled that. Then I saw your moms. They were in the car too and stopped at your house. I guess they were coming back from somewhere or something. My dad noticed. He waved his hand, then went over to the front of your house where he started talking to them. I don't know what they said. I couldn't hear it. but he couldn't see me anymore since he was looking the other way. So I opened the car door and left. I wanted to get away and went behind the houses. I found those hills there, the ones where we met for the first time. Cove nodded and stared at you. You stared back. He didn't go on to say anything more. Is that it? Cove's brow wrinkled, like he didn't understand why you were surprised. That's all that happened. Why did you want to tell the story if nothing happened? You really gotta get better at telling stories. Just gonna say, okay. What is it? What? You said that in a weird way. Did I? Cove narrowed his eyes at you. Suspicious. Shlo's mouth twisted into a scowl of disbelief, but he said nothing. Why'd you bring that up anyway? There was a slight shrug of Cove's shoulders. I was thinking about it because of the Sandcastles. They made me remember when I moved to here. Dad showed me the beach first, before we went back to the corner and back. He was really excited about it for some reason. Cove's brows furrowed a little more. As he quietly racked his hand. This story confuses me. I get it. You thought maybe Mr. Holden wasn't that excited about the beach, and was instead hoping Cove might be. But the line of conversation had come to its end. Even Cove was done with it. Some other topic had popped into his head. Shlo fidgeted uncomfortably in the stand and made Cove aware of his presence again. They looked at each other, and you could only wonder what this might be about. Hey, Shlo. Yeah? Oh, shit, hang on. Got it. Yeah? Why are you always turning so red, even when nothing is happening? Clearly startled, he shrugged back. Neither you or Shlo had expected that to be how he got included in the conversation again. I don't know, I guess. Okay, it's kind of weird. Shlo's eyes went wide with embarrassment, and his lips twitched. He was blushing even harder than before. Maybe it wasn't only this, perhaps it was simply the last straw. But it was a big deal to Shlo, a huge deal. He didn't just look sad, he looked almost panicked. Bro's like, are y'all judging me? Same, bro, same. You weren't sure if he was about to cry, or run away, or what, but you soon got an answer. Why do you wear glasses? Most kids don't wear glasses, and nobody's named Cove. Bro spat back. Who asked you to come? It was probably just your dad bugging Ryan's family somewhere because you don't have anyone else who'll ever play with you. Oh shit. Shlo got offended. Shlo, calm down. Cove blinked. The tension on the beach was suddenly uncomfortable in a way you didn't know how to even mention. They're the fucking same. Look at the way they're laying. Like mother, like son. It didn't seem like the kind of thing he'd get upset about, though you hadn't even known what kind of thing would bother Shlo. I'm sorry. Me too. I was just wondering. Hey, let's build another sandcastle and try to play on your own. Are we gonna build more? You obviously mess with the sand. It seems like an anxiety thing. You picked up some sand and turned it over in your hands. There didn't seem to be much you could do to stop the fight, and you weren't sure what to do with yourself. Cove looked over at you, what you were doing, and started building his own set of walls. Shlo took a deep breath, kneeling down to his own patch of sand. It seemed they both decided to try playing again. You were glad for that. You all went back to making some more sand buildings, but the whole mood had just changed. Shlo's cheeriness was clearly gone, and Cove looked as confused as ever about why the other boy had blown up. The air stayed uncomfortable the rest of that evening, right up to the moment that Shlo's mom appeared at the beach to take him home. Cove and Shlo had mostly followed your lead and barely said a word. His mom standing behind him. Even Shlo's goodbye had been quiet, friendly or cheerful, but noticeably quiet. But with Shlo gone and the sun going down, you knew it was time for you and Cove to head to your own houses. You followed him as he made his way out of the sand. The walk home was quiet. You passed by familiar landmarks, shoes thumping against the sidewalk in near perfect unison. Cove was clearly caught up in thinking about something. The prospect of asking made you nervous, but you did anyway. Hey, is everything okay? Oh, I was just wondering. Cove fell silent again for a few more seconds, then sighed. Why'd Shlo act like that when I asked why he was red a lot? You were being rude to him. He was just being a baby. You shouldn't make fun of him. I don't know, it's just Shlo. He gets embarrassed. He shrugged at Cove with no answer to give. Embarrassed? But I didn't say anything that bad. It might have upset him anyway. I guess I can get it. Why would he do that? Why he would do that. Sometimes I get really mad too. Despite seemingly coming to a conclusion, Cove's mood was still sour. Hey, Ryan, was Shlo telling the truth? Huh? His gaze leapt yours as he dug the sole of his shoe into the ground. He looked oddly vulnerable for a second. Does my dad make you hang out with me? I know he talks to your moms about that a lot. As an uncomfortable weight settled in your chest at the question. You liked spending time with Cove. You didn't even have to think hard about it. You knew you did, but you couldn't help feeling guilty. Cove still didn't know what happened when you met Mr. Holden. Nobody's making you spend time with your dad does do stuff so you hang out with your family, but Shlo shouldn't have said that. You decided to tell him about how... We'll wait till later for that, I think. We should just let him know that we do like spending time with him and not let him know about the whole money thing because we ran away in such danger. Cove's shoulders relaxed. You'd even noticed that he had tensed up. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Anyways, I didn't think you were pretending. I just wanted to make sure it was okay, is all. Thanks for telling me. Your throat tightened. It was hard to meet Cove's earnest gaze again. Keeping secrets was hard. Yeah. By now, the two of you were on the sidewalk near your houses. It's time to part ways. You said goodbye. You hugged Cove goodbye. She goes, y'all know I can't resist the hugs. Y'all know I can't resist the hugs. I had to let the doggies out to go potty. You stepped forward and wrapped your arms around him tightly. You turned your head, resting your cheek on his shoulder. Gay. Cove stood there awkwardly with his hands at his sides. He wasn't much of a hugger, but you didn't get the impression he was unhappy that you were. Bye, Cove. See you tomorrow. Yeah, bye, Ryan. You pulled away, then jogged towards your house. When you looked back, you saw Cove making his way back home, too. As if he felt your eyes on him, he turned around. He waved. You did, too. You still felt a little unsure what you were supposed to do about the deal Cove's dad had offered. You didn't want to say something bad or something you shouldn't. You had no idea how Cove would take it either. It would be terrible if it made him feel bad. What if he didn't want to play with you anymore? You might change your mind sometime. There was always tomorrow after all. But for now, it was definitely something that you'd keep to yourself. With that final look, you went inside your house. I think I want to end the episode there. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.